Thank you for still staying tuned to your favorite breakfast show, Tea or Coffee, and a big thank you to our newspaper review team for giving us the dailies on the newspaper. Now the conversation on an overdressed wedding guest continues on Tea or Coffee this morning. We're still looking at some comments, some views from the net from our Instagram concerning this situation. Now, for those who are just joining us, to give you context, we're going to show the video very quickly. But to give you context, basically, we are analyzing a story of a guest who wore a very elaborate white dress to a wedding. And now people are giving, their reactions, their comments, their opinions on this particular story. Very fascinating. I know we've been giving our own before newspaper review. I don't think it's a big deal, but different strokes for different folks.
So I took some comments,
yes.
And then some people said, "Oh, this is not nice."
Yeah.
Another person said, "This is nice." I mean, the last comment I took before we went was from June Flower,
okay.
And she has a very profound insight about it.
Yeah.
She said, "People really worry about the things that they shouldn't be worried about. My guests are allowed to wow me. I don't want any guests to look like they aren't doing well. It doesn't take away the fact that I am the celebrant." This is somebody whose perspective on this. See, like I said,
this is my perspective.
Sit down. Like I said, there's no right, there's no wrong in this. It's perspective, really.
Subjective, really.
Because it would be invalidating to say that somebody who gets upset by this one act is wrong to get upset, because you really don't know where that getting upset is coming from. For instance, if it is coming from a place of trauma, say maybe all this person's life. Did you see this video that made the rounds sometime last year of a 5-year-old girl who was at her birthday party, and then she was supposed to blow out a candle, and another kid blew out the candle, and she was mad. Like, she pulled the kid's hair, she was upset. Now imagine, I want you to understand that trauma, there's this, and then the parents are separating and holding her not to fight, not to unleash her wrath, and all of that. Now, you would imagine that kind of child, maybe has had such instances scattered around that if people always just come to take my shine, like my glorious moments, or maybe the person has history with, she did a very fantastic job at work, and then somebody somewhere just came to take credit for all of that work. That thing can be very triggering.
Right.
So what if that person is coming from that place where it has always been trauma about people, like, there's this anger that comes in. What is it about me that makes people feel like they can just walk in on my shine and rain on my parade? Maybe I don't get angry enough, and then boom. So that's why I said that we can't say, oh, this person is wrong for saying, like, you can't overdress at my wedding. For instance, there's another comment. Chigo Larry says, Omo, it's deep, very deep. Some human beings are something else. I can't deliberately wear a white dress that looks like this to someone's wedding, except I want to make the bride uncomfortable. It's not right, honestly. She could have gotten this same dress in another color. I even thought she was the bride at first, and that's the same thing that would happen at the wedding. You could see people going to congratulate her, thinking she's the bride. If this is done at my own wedding, you are going home. So, there's a thin line between let people be who people are, let people dress the way they want to dress, let them flex and enjoy, and then you always, and then that trauma that we don't heal from, even if somebody is not trying to do that to you, if it looks or smells like it, you are going to flip, because really, you too, like, really, you want this to go on. So I can understand from that perspective if anybody gets upset that why are you in my wedding trying to, like, take over the glory of the event? I am the celebrant. All eyes should be on me and not you. I can understand somebody that is coming from that perspective. But my own perspective, I never see. I'm too much in my own head.
All right, so the next comment is actually dealing with insecurity, right? So Jay's Kitchens Chronicles is saying, this is some serious level of insecurity. I can never understand how people get this insecure. If as the bride you're worried about your friends outshining you or expect them to dress down, then you've got some serious unresolved issues. Now, taking into consideration the fact that you've mentioned trauma, that is, the human experience or the human lived reality is a very complex one.
Yes, true.
That I didn't react to a pen dropping from the table to the ground doesn't mean that you wouldn't probably have a panic attack.
True.
And that is what makes the human experience quite, quite interesting, quite complex, and that is where empathy becomes very important when one human is dealing with another human. And empathy is, just walking the shoes of another person so that you are able to understand their experience. Empathy fails sometimes because, for instance, I don't know what
There's
it
no
means
measure for
to be
empathy.
a woman.
True, yeah.
So like for me to walk in your shoe when you're probably going through a feminine experience would be it will be interesting. It will be difficult for me. Do you understand? But nonetheless, so now, when you now take that into consideration, looking at this comment that this person is saying, tagging it as insecurity, it can't be invalidated. I understand what you mean. But, if we take this insecurity comment into perspective, right? I mean, the comment is not far-fetched. I don't think it's completely wrong to mention insecurity in this. I want to see my friends do better than me. I don't mind if my friend is dressing better than me or is smelling better than me, or his career or her career is doing a lot better than I am. I am doing my utmost best, to get the best out of the skills and the talents that I have. So if another person is doing better than me, the question is for me is coming to Guy Alpha, what are you doing? Because by the same business, you seem to be able to go miles ahead and very easier. How are you doing it? Do you understand? And obviously that's in a very deep life scenario, but in a wedding, seeing people that are better dressed than you are, or driving better cars than your wedding vehicle or whatever the case may be, shouldn't be something that would dampen your wedding. And that is where I'm coming from. It's your wedding. It's a wedding day. Do you understand? Like, for instance, it's like the conversation around wedding days where some people say, why are you people spending 10 million naira on your wedding day? Me, I'm just going to spend 750,000 naira on my wedding day. I want something, because it's not, and for that person, the wedding day is not the importance, it's the marriage. For another person, the wedding day is as important as the marriage. Do you understand? It doesn't mean that one is right or one is wrong. At the end of the day, it's a subjective decision. It's a subjective thing that this is how I want to do my wedding. Again, it's a subjective reaction. This is how I choose to react to somebody trying to outshine me in my wedding.
Well, some of us know how to let go than other people. I mean, there was a bride that went to serve rice at her own wedding in her white gown.
Exactly.
Some of us know how to let go.
I even saw one that the bride took the drum set. She was drumming at the reception.
Oh, okay, maybe just for like for a hand.
Yeah, and then the groom was just there vibing. And then some people look at that. Can you imagine? Choir master, you people that are not serious. So how can you give the drumstick to the bride? But the bride is having a lot of fun. Do you understand? So it's a subjective thing, really.
Really, when you were talking about insecurity, there are some people. There was a what's it called now? There was a story I read online about this wedding tales, about a certain bride that specifically, like, when somebody specifies to the last detail of the kind of earrings you should wear to her wedding, and then it's garnered some people said, well, it's her wedding, she can decide what she wants her guests to look at. Some people said, lie, you're not the one buying the dress for me. You're not in charge of my finances, so you can't give me this. In fact, our own list was so outrageous that it would cost the guest a lot of money, and then she's still restrictive about how they can appear, what they can eat. What's going on? Are you okay? You know. And so a lot of people said they were not going to go for that wedding and all of that. But for me, I think that eventually, or should I say, critically, we should look at it from this perspective. There are social norms and social expectations of how you behave in public spaces, how you behave at engagements, how you behave at events, how you dress, what you look like. There used to be a time in my secondary school, I think in 2000 and... Was it 2000 and... I can't remember now. No, around 1998, 99, there used to be etiquette class. Then there's this big book. Okay. Goodness gracious of etiquette. Like, you should sit like this, you should stand like this, you go for an event, you should greet people like this, gosh. So, and there was always etiquette classes on Thursdays, just to like, in fact, there was a smaller pamphlet that we all got, not a pamphlet, a booklet that we all got, The Art of Gracious Living. It's yellow cover. I would never forget the name. Like, we legit, every Thursday, we have to take that class. Every class, every level, everyone has to take that class, because my school then was very big on, etiquette is what you should do. So I feel like there are some things that should be written in pure black and white, what you should do at the wedding. Now, that's not to say that, I mean, nobody, except for malicious people, or nobody set out to take the shine of someone else's wedding. It's not your wedding, for your long. Why are you forming it? But there are some people that are there legitimately. You know that if someone is telling you, I'm going to scatter that wedding today, it's me they will look at. You know that this person too, you too.
Is it a malicious intent?
There are people like that.
No, I know.
There's the one of, no. There's the one of, we are going to rock that party today.
You know, me that I'm single and I'm trying to find a wife, and I go to a wedding and I dress better than the groom. Is that a malicious intent? Do you get me? So a woman, and obviously for women, it's very interesting.
This is why I said some people have malicious intent. Now, if you don't have malicious intent, kindly explain to me why you would make a grand entrance when everybody is seated. It's somehow.
I'm trying to find a husband.
If you're at a wedding and everybody is seated, the pastor or reverend has started officiating, and then one person walks in this very pristine white dress, and the heels are making noise, the jewelry is clanging, the makeup, everything is dripping, and the person walks. Now, you know you are late for that ceremony. Should you not respect yourself? I just quickly find a seat at the back, or a pew at the back.
Some people are extra.
But no!
Some people are extra.
You will walk from the entrance.
Some people are...
You will not walk from the entrance very slowly and seductively and walk and go and look for a seat in front. Is that no? It's not be be that. Not be that.
Listen. Whatever way you're gonna use to lure your future husband to you, sister, walk that white dress.
Taking the shine at all.
What do you mean?
All right, this person says, Trixie.ng says, we're sharing the wedding bill 50-50. Since it's our wedding too. If she doesn't pay half the bills, then there will be problems. Goodness.
All right, so Dole Yemen is saying, if you are bothered about what people wear to your wedding, then you have a problem. Let people come celebrate with you however they please. It's your day. Nothing can change that.
I think putting things in perspective, all these bans that we are throwing about, putting things in perspective is actually very important. I think everyone, single, married, about to get married, fiancé, everybody, engaged, not engaged, single to stupor, everybody, separated, divorced, everybody, you need to put into perspective what works for you, what's important to you. You know, I did say earlier that priority list from person to person differs.
Yeah.
And like you said, the human, you know, the complexities of being human varies from person to person. So there's a lot that goes into your person. There's a lot that goes into my person. And so the way you would react to things sometimes, I mean, just look at it like, eh. And now, anybody who now wants to start comparing would so there's a Yoruba adage that says, okay, if you're more, we or more. Means that you can't compare two children and say, this child is better. If not, you will beat one to death because you keep thinking that this one is not perfect instead of looking at that child in the uniqueness of who that child is. I think that eventually perspective matters. It's whether you are angry or you are not angry, that day was written as your wedding day. You agreed that okay, this is the day I'll get married. It will go down in history. Did you MC beat somebody at our wedding? You get that kind of. So you need to find out what's really important. What's really important to me? What's my priority? So and I believe that if you have eyes for your significant other, that you're checking out his drip, you'll not remember that anymore. If people like they should be naked, this is the person you're dealing with, you know?
Yeah, you know, just not to take away from or not to invalidate people's feelings of resentments towards somebody that is overdressed or whatever the case may be. I think what we can do, or what I would say to such a person is that your feelings, given that they are your feelings, are valid. But you know, look at the bigger picture. It's just the wedding. Like,
but sure you know that, and like, okay, finish.
Like, it's just the bigger picture is that it's just the wedding. Do you understand? If you brood on this feeling that you're having now, is going to morph into something worse. So instead of brooding on this feeling, you have spotted it, it has annoyed you, spot something else in the wedding that is going to make you happy. Do you understand? Because you can't brood on this negative thing and come and ruin this wonderful day. Do you understand?
But you know that sometimes these feelings, like, of course, we always say, oh, your feelings are valid. But I want to advocate for tracing your feelings.
Right. Tracing your
feelings, like tracing your emotions. Why am I angry? Why? Because it helps you to. It's not that you asking why am I angry, asking yourself why am I angry, does not mean that you don't have a right to be angry, or you should immediately fix your face, or you should immediately say, oh, okay, I'm sorry for getting angry. No, it is for you to understand what that emotion is communicating to you in that moment. Could it be that you are the one that is just pining and you're just being unnecessarily, what's the English for Conra? I'm in trouble.
Irritated.
You're just irritated, or you just triggered, and you really need to find out what is it. If you trace those emotions, I feel like sometimes all these people that we keep saying she was overdressed to my wedding, if you trace it properly, there's probably an old fight that has not been resolved, or there's just a general dislike for that person.
It can even be because the photographer was late and now you're taking it out on everybody. You know.
Or because when the person entered, even the pastor stuttered and stopped speaking.
Say,
you know, like, what nonsense is this?
You know, that kind of thing, exactly.
Like, what's going on here?
Exactly. You're right. It's very important. And that is where the place of reflection becomes important. And you know, it's easy to say reflecting. You know, when you're thinking about reflection, people think that, okay, I have this time set apart. I hold my coffee on the balcony and I think about things that, there are things that you can reflect on the go. You know, like I just got upset. Do you understand, about this woman's dress? At that point, where you're at your high table, about to drink your, whatever. Think about it. Why am I upset? Do you understand? Where is this coming from? These are things that you can do very quickly in 2-5 minutes.
One reason why somebody might get upset is if you, that are the bride, you're looking very pristine. There's grace, there's elegance. You're not showing unnecessary things. And then one person walks from nowhere, and the only thing you're not seeing is it will trigger you because you would go into judgment zone immediately. Like, what rubbish? What's she wearing at my wedding?
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, and then Joy EA, this is our final comment this one. It says, it's an actual thing. In some cultures in Europe and America, it's a taboo for any female guest to wear white in someone else's wedding. Something similar happened in Messi's wedding, and she was called out for it. So it's a fact. Don't wear a white dress to someone's wedding, please. Interesting.
Okay, fair enough.
Interesting.
I didn't know about this wedding etiquette, to be honest. So, for instance, if I attend a wedding and my plus one, who is a very beautiful woman, comes in a white dress, I apologize. That is what I would have to do because sorry.
You know now.
Like, sorry, mate. Listen, I didn't know.
You know now.
Fair enough.
We need to take a break. When we come back, Tea or Coffee continues.
If you don't believe the product is good enough, then you have no business advertising it. If you are confident your product or service can fulfill a true need, then you must sell it. Product Showcase helps you position your goods or services to the right audience, just the way you want it.
Welcome to the Etiquette class. Today's etiquette is on being a lady. In an age of texting and social media, it's easy for manners to fall by the wayside, and we don't want that to happen. So, here are things to consider in putting your best foot forward. Number 1, don't be a gossip girl. Always try your best to avoid gossip chains. It's unbecoming to spread gossip. And when you're actually the focus of the gossip, it's quite hurtful. Everyone's fighting their own battles, and the lady doesn't want to air someone else's dirty laundry. Avoid it as best as you can. And definitely, do not spread anything via social media. Number 2, to post a photo or to not post a photo. When in doubt, think, if my parents see this photo on Facebook or say Instagram, would they be proud of it? Would you want your children to see the photos you're posting 30 years down the line? I'm sure you look amazing in your new polka dots bikini selfie. And last night at the club, you looked stunning. But just think before you post it. Number 3, remember to say please and thank you. Simple but true. Please and thank you make the world a happier and more polite place. From ordering your soy cappuccino at Starbucks to conversing with a sommelier at the Le Burdin, basic manners never gets old. Number 4, be careful not to be braggy. Nobody likes a braggart. If you paid a lot for that designer bag, have a gorgeous summer home in Paris and a yacht in Marina, your closest friends will find out eventually. Now let's put a pause to these for today. Till next time, keep watching High Impact Television.
certainly still tuned into your favorite breakfast show on Nigeria's first full HD television. If you have not followed High Impact on social media, now is a perfect time at High Impact or High Impact TV UK. You can also follow and keep up to date with everything tea or coffee on Instagram at Watch Tea or Coffee. Now we're going to get into our trending topics on tea or coffee this morning. The first story we have reads, woman reviews how a family paid their benefactor when their daughter refused to marry him. Godwin. A woman has revealed how a family in All right. A woman has revealed how a family in Eleme, River State, paid back a man who had helped the family financially while hoping to marry their daughter. The man is said to have built a house for the family of his love interest. He also sorted out most of the family's problems. However, when it was time to marry the girl, she decided she wanted to be a model and moved abroad with a Caucasian man. The man threatened to demolish the house built for the family, so to appease him, the man was giving the girl's younger sister to marry. Okay, what kind of Nollywood Gbasgbos mishap is this? Like, are you guys kidding me this morning? On trending topics. What is this? All right, let us now get the facts of this story right. So there's a man in River State who is apparently in love with another woman, apparently in River State. So his love.
Can this world end already?
So his love, an expression of his love is that he built a house for this lovely woman's parents. You know, helped her with financial needs and all of these kind of things. And when it was time for marriage, this lady decided that she wants to be a model, and she moved out of the country, followed a Caucasian man, and got married to this particular man. Now, obviously, the man is upset. He's upset. Let me just put it like that. He's not really happy. He feels like maybe he has been swindled and he was going to demolish the house. So obviously, wonderful parents don't want to be homeless. So we need to provide a solution to our potential homeless situation. So what are we going to do? I wonder what we're going to do. Right. We have another daughter. Why don't we trade? We keep the house and you take our beautiful daughter. And apparently, it seems like, well, actually, we don't know if he accepted. That is what happened. And it is very worrying analyzing it out loud like that. But that is what happened. Very worried. What is your take, Yemisi? Let us hear it. Spit it out.
What?
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know where to start. Should I start from the poor younger sister who now has to marry a man that probably treat her like nonsense to the end of her life, because that's not who he genuinely loves? Look at this. That's not who he genuinely loves or wants. It is now a business transaction.
It's now a business, pretty much. It's now a business transaction.
So, my entire life, the rest of my existence, would be because of a business transaction.
As in,
I would hate my elder sister.
Like,
I would hate my mother.
the children are born with this man.
I would hate my father. I would hate the man. It would be a miserable marriage.
As in, but do you think they can find love?
Sir?
Found love in a hopeless place.
Any?
You know, Rihanna said it. I don't know.
No, this is not Rihanna. Maybe this is Abumana.
Hey,
This is so not
stop
Rihanna.
it. Stop it.
I edge.
Yeah, you know, I think
I hate to hear that somebody spent money in hopes of getting married to this person. See, my belief system is, if you want to be kind for kindness' sake.
Yeah.
Don't be kind because there is a reward that you're expecting, because humans are transient. We are fickle. We are fickle. Let's assume, Seth, that the lady in question loved him from the start. Her dreams and her visions for her life changed.
Yeah, so people
and you
change.
can't hold that over her head. People change. In fact,
but isn't it wicked?
So it's not Ade, it's not wickedness. Coming from humans who clamor for change, that, oh, you need to change, you need to evolve, you need to become more, you need to give me a second.
Okay.
Coming from humans who clamor for change, you need to change, you need to evolve, you need to become more. We are the most averse to that same change.
Okay, maybe
and then
wickedness.
you see somebody and then you say, really, you changed? Duh.
Okay, maybe wicked is an extreme word. Isn't it very selfish what she has done?
I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree.
Isn't it selfish?
I disagree. And this is why I said I disagree. You see, the relationship between man and woman, especially when it comes to love interest, is very complex. It's very complex.
Right.
I used to think it was black and white. I used to think it was right and wrong. I used to think it was, oh, you rub my back, I rub your back. I used to think it was just simple as 1 + 1. But no, it's complex. In fact, you could love and hate somebody at the same time, Adi. It's wild. The relationship between man and woman is the most complicated relationship anybody can attempt to, separate and say, okay, this happened, that happened. But what I would say is this man is the silly goose on this matter. Because,
really?
yes, he is, Ade.
I don't think that's fair. But please finish first.
Ade, I'm not even talking fairness right now. I'm talking, okay, so is it fair on the part of the younger sister who now has to marry somebody?
She's the greatest loser in this whole story, actually.
The parents are the ones that I'm very angry with. But I'm not going to them yet.
So, the little sister is the greatest loser, is the biggest loser, rather, in this story. But it doesn't take away the fact that this man is also a loser. Like, he also lost, as in, like, hold on.
I'm not saying he didn't lose anything.
That's what I'm saying, that it's not fair to him. It's not fair at all.
Hear me out, yeah? He set himself up for this nonsense, as well as the parents of the girl. They set themselves up for it, and this is why I said that. If you love somebody, and we've heard these stories over and over again, and increasingly I'm beginning to suspect that maybe it's just a small part of their culture ingrained that if you have a love interest in a certain person, keep doling out money to the family just to ensure that they keep the girl for you, so to speak. See, I think it's time we need to now look at that, I don't know if it's a culture, a tradition, or a mental belief system. I think it's time to look at it. Nobody should be for sale or on sale.
Okay, sorry.
You get my point.
I want to understand something.
Are you buying?
Yeah.
Ade, you can't buy love.
So you're saying that there's a possibility that the lady was not interested in the man.
There's
and
a huge
he was
possibility,
just,
yes. And even,
but we don't know that.
We don't know. I
right.
keep shouting nuance, but I don't want to call nuance to this. You're not saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that even if she had an interest in him from day one, and she was enjoying the gift, and she said, I love him, I like him, I want him, I will marry him, people still change. He
built a house for your parents.
Ade.
He built a house for your mother. Something you could not do as a woman. He built a house for your parents. Are you serious?
So I have a question, yeah? This man legitimately believes that his money and the house he built is enough to buy love?
No. We don't know that.
Is enough,
hold on.
Now, wait. Or is enough to sustain...
We don't know that.
I chill now.
Okay, all right.
Or is enough to sustain love? Is that what this man is saying? We've heard stories of men who will come out and say, oh, I sent her to school, I gave her, I used my money to sponsor her education, she finished school and she said she's not marrying me.
I'm sorry, when it comes to marriage, love is never enough. Simple and plain.
So you just buy love?
Look, I'm sorry.
You just
Wait,
buy a woman
that's
into
not what
marriage.
I'm saying.
That's what this is.
No. Yeah, you're making that statement on the nuance that she was not interested, that there was no love connection between both of them, and we do not know that. I am now coming from a perspective that, okay, what if there was a genuine love relationship between these two people, right? Like, and for instance, this guy, they've probably spoken about marriage, and she's like, yes, it would be wonderful, blah blah blah. based on that conversation, your parents, they're in a bungalow, why don't we build a two-floor story building, whatever for them? Oh, thank you, babe. He builds a house, whatever the case may be. You now turn, all of a sudden, you now turn and say, oh, babe, listen, my goals in life have changed. I've met a wonderful foreigner. I'm going to leave the country and go and marry him. Thank you, though.
No, she said she wants to be a model.
Okay. Look, don't try it. Look, see, my point is that the reason why I think it's not fair to the man, the reason why I feel like it's not fair to the man is because, he has there's a point of emotional labor when it comes to relationship. Emotional labor as in calling, the effort, and then there's a place of financial labor, and he's give or take, he's laboring on these two fronts for this particular woman he has an interest in, and then she decides to leave the country, like to go and marry. Look, even if she didn't leave the country, even if she didn't decide to become a model, you decide to go and marry another person after everything. It's very selfish, and I'm sorry, I don't think wicked is an extreme word. I think she's a very wicked person, and I'm also now. It seems like now, okay, in the reality that maybe there was no love interest from this woman, right? Now I'm beginning to understand that it seems like the parents are pimping their daughters to men for marriage. Now that can possibly really be happening in this story. It can be a situation where she was dating this guy, and then this foreigner, happens to have interest in her, and then her parents are like, what, actually go with this Caucasian man, tell him that you want to change career and leave the country so that he understands. Do you understand? And then, don't worry, we'll give him your younger daughter. That happens in this country. That is not even something that, that is impossible. So all I'm trying to say is that it is not fair to the man. A lot of people will say, oh, patriarchy, you're trying to bride price, you're trying to buy the woman, whatever the case may be. That is probably not what is going on in this story. And I feel like, I think...
Can I speak
Sorry, hold on. I feel like I'm empathizing with the guy because I'm a man, because I'm a guy. Do you understand? And then you're doing all these wonderful things for somebody that you love, and then she turns her back, and then says, oh, thank you, I'm with, no, man, no, don't do that.
Can I speak now?
Please, you can.
Okay. Has there been anyone before, and I want you to be very honest, that showers you with attention, a female, showers you with attention, buys gifts for you, does stuff for you, but at some point you just feel, really, I don't see myself with this person for the long run? Has there been any instance like that?
Has there been an instance where somebody is buying things for me?
Just want you to show the love back, like, I love you now, guy. And then, but you genuinely just know that I'm not going to be with this person.
It's like, it didn't get to that. I'm being honest. I'm being very honest with you, all right? If it gets to a point where you're going to start, look, if you're asking me, so I'm going to give you a personal opinion. I'm not, for me, I find it difficult collecting things from people, generally speaking. Do you understand? Whether it's money or gifts or whatever. I love gifts, but I find it difficult collecting things from people. Do you understand? So for me to comfortably be collecting things from you, it is because, in this particular scenario, you are my girlfriend, or you are my wife, or you are my fiance. Do you understand?
So let's because I know you're not married. So let's stick to you're my girlfriend, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, in the course of being in that relationship, do you want to tell me that you guys, if you guys have a falling out, or if you feel like, you know what, our views don't align anymore, you would stay in that relationship because of the things that you have collected from her in times past? Is that what you're telling me?
All right. Can I answer the question? Can I answer the question? Given that, for instance, I'm going to leave this relationship, this woman has bought me a car, she's bought me wonderful gifts. Should I return the gifts back to her, considering that I don't want to foster a relationship with her?
I would answer your question on the provision that you answer mine.
Okay.
Now, my question is very simple.
Oh, yeah?
She bought you a house, she bought you a car, she did all sorts of things.
Right.
in the time that it was sweet, you never imagined that, even you never imagined that you would wake up one day and say, I'm not really into this anymore. You understand? And then you wake up one day and you realize that you're genuinely not into that anymore. Would you, because of those things, say that you have to force, like, or you have to continue in the relationship? For instance, maybe you had, give me a second. I
understand your
maybe
question,
you had a health challenge.
Yeah.
You donated a kidney, you know, just to keep you running. Would you say that because you don't, because she gave you your kidney rather, you will no longer, you would still stay there even though you are not happy? If you get what I'm trying to say.
understand.
I'm going
Let me
somewhere.
answer. No, let me answer.
I'm trying to explain what I said at first by asking you these questions. Adi. You know, the first thing I said was the man-woman relationship is such a complex thing that if you're not careful, you will just be pontificating.
Let me answer.
You know, so please.
Falling in love is easy. Staying in love is the hard work.
Yes.
Actually.
Yes.
Right? So, love at first sight, very easy. Very, very easy. You know, the woman is wearing maybe one short gown, beautiful makeup, smelling like roses. Love at first sight, quote unquote. Very easy, very, very easy. But
Are you
actually,
sure that's not infatuation?
that is no. You know, that's why I put quotes in quotes. Okay. You know, love is first sight. I don't really believe in love at first sight and all that rubbish.
Do you even believe in love? Go on.
You know, so falling in love with somebody is very easy. But the hard work about a relationship is actually, we are going to fight. I'm going to change. How are we going to deal with? Do you understand? How are we going to navigate around these changes that are happening to both of us? You know, if we take a patriarchal system, a traditional system into consideration, the woman is earning 3 times more than me. Do you understand? And maybe as a man, I have such a huge ego. How are we going to deal with this? Do you understand? Like, because I can't tell you to quit your job because it's a wonderful thing for both of us. But then you need to understand how I feel. And it's not even being selfish.
This
do
is
you understand? So no. Like, no, my point is that marriages, you know, okay. My point is that, you know, the hard part of sustaining a relationship is, for instance, dealing with the changes that the person is going through, and dealing with changes that you're going through, dealing with changes that are going through. You know, for instance, the woman might, maybe both of you decided that, we're not leaving the country, I'm going to stay in Nigeria, we're going to, you know, train our kids in Nigeria and all this kind of thing. And all of a sudden, the woman's ambition changes. Like, I want to leave Nigeria, I want to go to the United Kingdom, I want to go to Turkey, whatever the case may be. As a man that doesn't want to leave Nigeria, am I now going to just divorce this woman based on, you know, the conversations?
So Ade, give me a second. You're talking marriage, divorce. I'm talking about a relationship. See,
that's what I'm talking about.
I want you to hear me out. The point I'm making is that, first, for starters, I am very sorry and worried about the younger sister who now has to marry somebody she probably wasn't even thinking about love to start with. Then, for the guy, I don't feel any sympathy for him, because money and your gifts and everything cannot tie down love. See, I'm a firm believer in the fact that, yes, there's emotional. Hear me out.
I'm listening to you.
There's emotional labor, there's financial labor.
Yeah.
But all of these things also have to come with some levels of sense. What I don't like is, and it's not the first time I'm hearing stories like this, that there's an expectation that because I spent money on your education, because I bought a house for your parents, because I bought a car for your parents, then you have to love me forever. What if my feelings change? What if something happens?
Are you serious?
I didn't hear me out. I heard you out. Hear me out.
I'm listening to you.
I'm very serious. Yeah. So the way I change as a person, you change as a person. What if in the time that I was telling you I love you, I had not seen a different perspective to life? I had not even gone deep into myself to realize that, okay, this is who I truly, genuinely am. I think that people are allowed to change.
Wow.
Now, this is the problem I now have with the parents. The parents are the problem in this conversation. For instance, maybe because of my own parents and my own upbringing, you can't come to my father and say that, oh, because I love your daughter, he has not given my hand to you in marriage. He has not, we've not gone to, but because you want to woo me, and then you tell my dad, because I love your daughter, I'm building you a house, he will not collect it from you.
They encouraged it.
He will encourage it. So I want to believe that the parents were the major problem in this whole thing. They should not have encouraged it, because what if our daughter changes? What if she changes her mind tomorrow? In fact, my mom is a proponent of, you meet somebody, you feel like you're giddy about them. Hold on. Don't bring them home. Don't give us the impression that, oh yeah, we have somebody, and then tomorrow morning you say you've broken up. We don't want to be sure of what you are doing before you come and tell us that you are ready for marriage. And then until you get married, there's no I bought this car for daddy. Why? What are you doing? Do you understand? So maybe that's why I have that perspective, that he set himself up for it. You understand? For the lady, however, I also feel like she, on so many levels, she was not fair. If her parents were the ones encouraging, because I suspect that they are the ones, he has money now, let's be collecting it. I suspect that it's those parents. If her parents were encouraging, and she knew, because see, as much as we want to say that people change, we sometimes also know things that don't go down well with us. We may not be able to put words to it, but you know on your inside that I feel some levels of discomfort about this thing, even though you don't know how exactly or what exactly that feeling is. I feel like she also allowed it for to go on for too long. And then, if I were the man with this new development, Sam, I don't want your younger daughter. There's no need for big English. Give me back my house. We don't know if he accepted. We don't know if he accepted. No, that's what I'm saying. If it was me, if they offered the youngest daughter, whatever it is that they want, I don't care. Please give me my house. But unfortunately, that will also be a difficult conversation to prove in court, because most likely the documents of that building were in her parents' name and not his name. Which is such a terrible thing. That was why I said he set himself up. You see, love is beautiful, and love is magical. But see, use your word, head. Think. If this person wakes up tomorrow morning and says, have we not seen people who professed the end of the earth, that they love somebody, and they turn around and they are the ones that murdered the person they claim to love?
Look, see, in as much you can say that, or he was somehow foolish in love, stupid in love, or Beyonce's words, crazy in love, I still think that, the parents and the woman have been very wicked to him. Do you want to take the next story?
I will take it. Girl hailed after getting straight A's in WAEC. Yes, a girl's WAEC result has been made public one day after the examination body released the 2021 WASCE results. Madu Stephanie Chimela checked her result on the same day it was released and found that she got A's in all her subjects. She also aced a JAMB exam and the post-UTME she wrote at the Federal University Owerri. Her results sheets have been shared online, earning her praise from social media users. Great.
Nice. Big ups.
I like the fact that, but unfortunately, did you see, how do I put it now? We don't get to hear, that's the word. We don't get to hear of things like this, unlike before. Before now, when we were leaving secondary school, it was your goal to be recognized nationally, because
after all those sleepless nights,
national recognition. One maybe WAEC would probably call you and give you recognition. One school somewhere will say they will send you a scholarship. Like there's so much, there's so much celebration of it. But now we just said, oh, nice. It's sad, really. It shows that to a large extent our what's the word now? Okay, I can't find the word.
Priority or?
Not priority. What we celebrate is change. Our interests are beginning to change. If we heard now that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because we have gotten to, hey, there's a word, goodness gracious.
Well, lackadaisical about it somehow.
There's a word that describes a feeling of meh.
Indifference.
Not indifference. Yeah, we're getting close. For goodness. That's terrible. Like a certain level of coldness. Too.
Oh, okay.
Like
cynical sort of thing.
Cynical? No, I'll find it.
Yeah. Or I mean, so given the state of education in the country at the moment, I was reading something yesterday, which I'll get into. But given the state of education in the country at the moment, it's wonderful to hear stories about Stephanie, that are acing, their WAEC results. I was looking at some UNICEF statistics yesterday concerning education in Nigeria, and it is alarming, what insecurity is doing to education in this country, especially obviously in the northern states, with, the gunmen and things like this, bandits, militia movements, organizations of some of these, what they are terrorists, so it's alarming what insecurity is doing to education in this country. In 2020 we did somehow, some way, pandemic obviously affected education, but somehow, some way, schools, yeah, exactly, schools, with remote learning, even having classes on the radio and things like that, we're able to deal with it. And at that time we're still dealing with a pandemic and insurgency affecting education. So given that into consideration, education should be, and us speaking about this kind of conversation is very important, because we still need to place education at the helm, of a
priority list.
As a society, we need to place education, because, knowledge is power, information is power. So if these kids are not getting the knowledge that they will use to make a better tomorrow for themselves and for this country, then we're not securing the future. Pretty much, So so it's wonderful that we're able to take a story like this, considering the state of education in the country. So I think we're going to take a very quick break now. When we come back, story of the day continues.
Thanks for staying with us. It's now time for us to look at the story of the day. Our story today comes from Sweden, as Sweden elects first female prime minister. Sweden's parliament elected Social Democratic Party leader and current finance minister Magdalena Andersson as the country's first woman prime minister. Andersson will succeed outgoing Prime Minister Stefan Löfven after a total of 117 members of parliament voted for her, while 57 abstained, 174 voted against, and one was absent. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed this news. I wish I followed it. It would have given me more things to talk about this morning, but first female prime minister,
Yeah, taking into consideration the conversation we had yesterday with the members of the Eloy Awards team, Tewan Nosonya, and the rest. It's a wonderful news that we are taking this. Talking about the glass ceiling of patriarchy being broken and all this kind of
Nobody
things.
ever did say the glass ceiling of patriarchy. Come on.
No. No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, please.
Because I honestly believe that we need to live in a society or a community, right, that equity, and justice is actually encouraged. Equality is a scam. Equality is equality is a scam. Equality is a scam that prevents us from seeing that equity is what we actually should be aiming for. You know, like one part of the conversation, there's something Tewa said, or Nosia said yesterday, that which I really held on to, and that, you know, when it comes to the conversation on women empowerment, you know, empowerment is interesting because, you know, you say that, oh, we gave all of them 100,000 naira to start new businesses. Way, financial empowerment, wonderful, right? What happens afterwards? Do you understand? Like you're giving, for instance, you know, market sellers 100,000 naira, and then you think that is okay. Are they financially equipped? You know, are they financially literate enough to actually invest this money and grow this capital into something better? Are they able to grow it into a venture? Do you understand? And then that's where things like, all right, so, wow, we just got an update on the story, actually. So, talking about women environments, all right. So, the Swedish Prime Minister, the female Prime Minister who was actually elected in, she resigned the position, apparently.
Was it that she was trying to just prove that a woman can do it?
Hours after, actually.
Sweden's first female Prime Minister resigns hours after appointment.
Wow.
Why?
Wow. All right, let's quickly get into it now. All right.
Oh, our coalition partner quit the government and then our budget failed to pass.
Right.
Oh, that was bad sabotage.
Right.
Instead, Parliament voted for a budget drawn up by the opposition, which includes the anti-immigrant far right. According to reporters, she was quoted as saying, "I have told the Speaker that I wish to resign." Her coalition partner, the Greens Party, said it could not accept a budget drafted for the first time with the far right. Ms. Anesi said she hoped to try to become Prime Minister again as a single-party government leader.
I understand why. This actually, I guess, this is one of the this is a similar thing with what happened with David Cameron in the United Kingdom. David Cameron, he resigned because he said that he wasn't the one to push Brexit forward because that is not what he wanted. So we're seeing the same thing with Magdalena Anderson this morning. She obviously does not support the anti-immigration policy, you know, so obviously she's not going to encourage a budget, you know, encouraging the anti-immigration rights. Actually,
I am intrigued by her person.
You know, actually, that is integrity, like on so many levels. Like
I am intrigued by her person. Because really, on a normal day, being the first female Prime Minister of any country should be cause for celebration. Like, whatever you even want to do, I am the first female and then celebrate it. Now I'm flipping it to Nigeria.
Yeah, hold on. Okay.
That person will not resign.
Yeah, you know, the conversation really has changed. Immigration is a very complex topic when dealing with governments because, you know, should we allow people into our borders? You know, we still need to protect, you know, those who are within our country, blah, blah, blah. Very, very difficult and complex conversation to have. But obviously, taking the context of this story, she does not support anti-immigration laws. She supports, you know, immigration and things like this.
You know, that move actually made a lot of sense. Yeah. She said this is because the Green Party, she said she would still probably get voted in again because the Green Party has promised to support her despite quitting as a formal coalition partner. But she would end up being in a vulnerable position at the helm of a fragile minority government. That was such
they would take advantage of her and then her hands would be tied.
On that note, I have found a new role model. We need to go though. It's been wonderful having you join us on Tea or Coffee. Oluwayemisi Akingbolagbele is my name. Have fun for the rest of today, and please don't sweat the small stuff.
And my name is Ade Oyeyikwo. Until next time on Tea or Coffee, enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.